Alright, welcome to the rest of my life. I'm Lance Ash, and I want to start off by apologizing for last week's episode. It was an experiment. It was a crazy idea I had. I thought maybe I could make something of it, but I just don't think it's going to work out. It's a matter of performance, you understand? And it's born out of a desire to make more out of this trip. Find something productive. But anyway, alright. I got one basic topic to go over to start off with this episode. A video was suggested to me on YouTube. Basically the same old thing. Why old music is better than new. And the genesis of the video was a recent article in The Atlantic about old music is killing new or something like that. The funny thing is, my in-laws, a couple hours after I saw the video, they sent me an email saying, have you seen this article in The Atlantic about this? And it's very odd that that happened. But anyway, alright, it's the guy who runs the channel on YouTube is one of these vinyl enthusiasts. One of these people who thinks that LPs sound better than CDs. And I'm one of these people who, for 30 years now, has been a CD enthusiast. Mainly because you can listen to them in the car. You can't listen to LPs in the car. And when I first started driving, cassettes were the thing. I didn't have a CD player in the car for years. And cassettes, while convenient, sound like shit. And they're a pain in the ass. And I never saw much merit in the argument that LPs, or vinyl if you want to use that term, sound better than CDs. But I see a parallel which has led me to see some merit in that argument, and that's this. Where I work in the break room, they have one of these I guess you'd call them high definition monitors, and they show a lot of old TV shows, from the 80s, 70s, even old black and white movies sometimes. And when these shows are seen on the high definition screen, they look weird. Back in the 70s when I was a kid, I used to see a lot of soap operas, and they all had this, I don't know if it was video, I guess it must have been videotape, but they all had this fake look about them. And the high definition TV screen makes everything look like that, look weird. It's like, I don't know, like drawings come to life or something. So I see a parallel there between that and people who make the argument that LPs sound warmer. Well, okay, if it sounds warmer to you, sounds better to you, I can't argue with that. You like the sound. To me, it's not so much a sound issue as it is a convenience issue. Now, moving on. It bothers me that people make this argument that today's music has no depth, it has no humanity, it has no hands-on instrumental quality to it. The lyrics are... The thing is, all of their arguments boil down to, well, what I hear on the pop charts, what I hear on the radio, what's popular now isn't as good. And you're right about that. It's not as good. That's just objectively true. But to say that today's music is no good, the thing is, the people who are making good music today, they have nothing to do with the charts. They have nothing to do with the radio. They have nothing to do with the popular distribution media. It's all old-fashioned in its word-of-mouth spread. The comment I made on the video was, on the one hand, you're right, because just about a week ago, I saw an article in The Guardian about how Fleetwood Mac's Rumours album still sells 30,000 copies, physical copies, a year. Which they were saying, what's the reason behind this? Why is the continuing popularity of this album? So, yeah, there's that. But on the other hand, look at the music that's not being heard about, not being talked about, not being selected to be flaunted on the Grammys or whatever. We are living in a golden age of progressive metal, and I know that's not the popular thing. I know that's never going to be shared intergenerationally, but I can't even think of all the bands. The Sword, Mastodon, Baroness, High on Fire. They're not particularly progressive, but there's just so, and even beyond that, all the so-called, what used to be called alternative bands, independent record labels, independent bands. There's more great music than ever. I don't understand why it is a point of complaint among these people that the stuff on the, let's just use the term, top 40 isn't good anymore, and it isn't world-beating, it isn't earth-shaking. Who cares? The stuff that's being extolled in the mainstream media is garbage. I agree. But that's meaningless. I'm trying to think of, I don't want to get into the rap argument. I like some rap, but most of it it's not something that I feel like delving into. I do like some rap, but it's the sort of fringe rap. The stuff that passes for, I guess you'd say, R&B, like, I don't know shit about Beyonce, okay? But it just, I don't know, has no meaning for me. And I just, like Amy Winehouse. And now that she's dead, I've grown to like at least 2 songs by her. But what pissed me off at the time was that she was being thrown in my face, shoved down my throat. This is something you'll like. You'll like it. You'll like it. This is good. This is the new thing. How many times is this is the new thing shoved at you? This is the new thing. You'll like it. Billie Eilish is nothing more than the next iteration of Alanis Morissette. And she will disappear the same way that Alanis Morissette disappeared. The reason for Taylor Swift's continuing presence in the media has nothing to do with the quality of her music. It's all the celebrity tinsel surrounding the tribulations of her life, and ups and downs of her career. I can't name one of her songs. it's just the thing. I think one of the things that these people are complaining about is, let's just say that this was 40 years ago. 40 years ago, even if you weren't a fan of the Police or the Talking Heads or the Talking Heads, or I don't know, going back further, just name any popular band. Even if you weren't a devotee of those bands, you would know what their big hits were. You would say, well, yeah, I heard that at the grocery store. I heard that in over at my friend's house. Today, someone can achieve multi-million-dollar sales. I mean, whatever I'm trying to say, and yet be totally hidden from view by those of us who are not plugged in. It may come as a shock to some people stumbling across this video, but I don't use my cell phone for anything other than an emergency call to my wife saying something's happened. It's not turned on. I don't listen to music through my cell phone. I don't have whatever the big music distribution service is. Spotify, I guess, is one. I don't have anything to do with it. iTunes, that's another one, I guess. And the notion of attempting to keep up with what's current has no viability with me. And I would imagine there's a lot of people like me out there. Most of the this progressive metal that I was talking about, most of that stuff was made known to me by a friend of mine who's into all this, and he would make copies of the CDs and give them to me. And I'll tell you something else. This is a side issue. All right. Over the weekend, I started digging into Bad Company again. And I was listening. A couple years ago, they put out a double live album. I think one disc is 1977 and one disc is 1979. And I was like, this is pretty good. They were a really good live band. So I thought, well, you're missing just one of the albums by the original lineup. You ought to see if you can get that. The last album that the original lineup did was Rough Diamonds, and I've never had it on CD. Well, just a few years ago, on Amazon, a used CD, you could get one for $1.99. Now the used CDs, they want $30 for. Who do they think they're fooling? Oh, well, CDs aren't really selling like they used to. The medium is passé now, so that means all the CDs are they're rarities, and they're more valuable than before. No, they're not. It doesn't make them collector's items because people are preferring to get their music through streaming services now. That's ridiculous. A 30-year-old copy of a Bad Company's last CD is not like a Fabergé egg. God. I don't know. The main issue here is I just don't understand people who are carping and bitching about today's music. Look around. Look beyond what's being shoved in your face. Oh my God. All right. I'm trying to think. Had a really good weekend. I finished issue number 9 of my online magazine, and that wraps up a storyline that stretches back at least to around 2010, 2011. So a 10-year-old chain of narrative, characters and so forth. Finally, I'm gonna carry on with the characters, but it's wrapped up so neatly now that even if I drop dead, I can die with the satisfaction of knowing that I brought everything to a kind of conclusion. So it's a new era for me now. The magazine's taking a new turn. Oh my God. It was just trying to think if there's anything else I need to say. Alright, let me get in the other lane. And then I can call this episode quits. Hold on a second. Let this guy get around me. Yay. Alright, folks, I will see you in the funny paper. Bye-bye.